But Alex, let's talk about this Jacksonville Jaguars backfield situation. We got Ryquell Armstead. We got Ozigbo, Devine Ozigbo, if I'm saying that right. And then Chris Thompson. Is there really a name that you want at all in this backfield? I picked up Armstead in one of my leagues where I did have Fournette, but I'm not feeling great about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I have a spot on my bench, maybe a guy that's not exciting or someone I picked up late, I'm happy to get either Thompson in a PPR league or Ryquell Armstead. I think Armstead probably has more upside in the sense that ceiling-wise, Leonard Fournette was, a top 10 fantasy football running back last year? I don't think Armstead has that kind of ceiling, but I think as a ceiling, he could be a top 24 guy. And that's what I said a month ago. If Armstead gets the Leonard Fournette role, there's no reason he shouldn't be a top 24 guy with the kind of volume he could potentially get even on a bad offense. So that's like the ceiling for him. I wouldn't expect him to be a top 10 guy. He's not like a Tony Pollard where if all of a sudden he becomes the starter, he's an RB1. But if I had to bet on Thompson, Armstead, or Ozigbo, I think I'd rather have Armstead just because with Thompson, he will have value, and he was going to have value regardless for the entire season. We saw what he could do back in Washington with Jay Gruden in the past. I think he will have a very safe pass-catching role. Think of him as almost like a Nyheim Hines in that offense. It's one of those things where, or even Theo Riddick a few years back, if you have one of these guys, you can plug him in, hope he gets 5 catches for 50 yards and strolls into the end zone, but you're never really excited about putting him in your lineup. So Thompson to me is someone who late in drafts you could pick up as a bye week fill-in, injury insurance, just in case if running backs go.
He's a streamer.
Yeah, running backs go very, very quickly, and there's a lot of scenarios where you can be caught with nothing at running back. So Thompson's a guy where you can at least stash him and have someone to plug in. But I'm probably going for Armstead here just because I think the upside is a little bit higher on a week-to-week basis. But again, there's a chance we come out and Ozigbo is the guy. And if that, I wish I had a crystal ball and I could tell you which way it was going to go. But right now, I think it is Armstead. And if it comes out and it's Ozigbo week 1, I have no problem cutting him and trying to pick up Ozigbo off waivers if he hasn't already been claimed.
I'm not trying to make fantasy football harder than it is. This backfield is irrelevant. This is like the Washington team. Unless it's a throwaway pick at the end of your draft, maybe you pick Armstead up. But even then, it's just a dart throw. We literally had the guy who finished the RB7 last year being drafted around the RB15 range, so a 3rd or 4th round running back. And now we have even more unproven running backs taking over. And I don't know where this narrative is coming from. I saw the Roto World blurb after Fournette got cut, and you hear the narratives out there. A lot of guys talk about it. What is this smear campaign against Leonard Fournette? He's actually a good running back. I know he was inefficient through the air last year, but he was just getting destroyed. People say, he's got no juice left. Well, he was 8th in the NFL with carries that went for over 15 yards. He had 11 total breakaway runs. Dude, I don't know why everyone's saying Fournette's just completely washed at this point. He's 25 years old. He has the college production. He has the draft capital. So I don't know where that's coming from. I guess, I don't know. He's just kind of the fun guy that everybody wants to, hate on right now. I think he'll end up, hopefully, in a good situation for those that have him on their rosters, dynasty or redraft right now.
Please don't be Tampa Bay. Please don't ruin my Ronald Jones hype, Leonard Fournette. Do not ruin this for me. Please don't be Tampa Bay. Please don't ruin my Ronald Jones hype, Leonard Fournette. Do not ruin this for me.
No.
Please don't ruin my Ronald Jones hype, Leonard Fournette. Do not ruin this for me.
Look, and you talk about Chris Thompson for me. I'm not touching Chris Thompson. I already was fading Chris Thompson.
It's just not worth it. It's just not. What's the point of Chris Thompson when you could? Chris Thompson's not winning you a league. I mean, I think is what we're saying.
Exactly. And for Jay Gruden, who the Jags brought in, he has a history of how he wants to use his running backs. Every year, it's pretty much 250 carries, big bruiser on the ground, and then a low receiving volume, maybe 20 targets, 30 targets. So I think that's how Armstead's going to be used. Like you said, he's an RP2 in the right matchup. But I mean, this Jags team is not going to be great, and I'm not expecting Armstead to be a stud, but I think he will be the one to take. If you're going to take a shot, it's Armstead just for the volume. He's going to be a Marlon Mack, Jordan Howard type guy. He's a wrecking ball. He has some speed relative to his size. So I know I said Jordan Howard, Marlon Mack. Maybe if you can take him a step lower and get a guy relate him to Adrian Peterson. But either way, I'm out on this backfield. Well, let's talk some strategy here. Enough about Lenny.
Seriously, enough about Lenny.
He's been like the hottest topic here over the last week leading into the season, which is like really of everything we could have talked about in this COVID year, Tampa Bay, like this is what we're talking about, Leonard Fournette getting cut. But